grab your popcorn, kick back and relax, because it's time for some more Karnage. So, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the core rush for Outworks. I have to show you guys the opener of this just a little bit, just because it was slightly different towards the previous one that I showed in the actual video I dedicated to that. I'll try not to focus on this too much though. Just because the main difference here is the one I showed for the opener on that base only required 5 shocks, whereas this one requires 7. So the extra gunboat energy means that the cells here need to be farmed. In that video, we did not take out these rockets, which means we have to take them out in order to get that hit accomplished, just so we can farm those cells. So firstly, we marked this one just so we don't have to flare it. That saves gunboat energy. 1 shock will be used to get these rockets. Now we do miss this rocket here in the shock, but that doesn't really play a role too much because we do get, we do lose a little bit of Zookas to that rocket, but not too many. So it wasn't a huge problem, but something that could have been improved on a little bit. This flare I feel like wasn't really needed, just because we only took out 1 power cell, and it doesn't really play that much of a role in the attack. The extra flare that is used in this attack probably costed more than the energy that he just got back from that cell, so I think he actually went in the negative because of that. Anyway, pretty much the same attack from here on out though. He does mark these 2 mortars, which I'm not sure if I mentioned in that other video. The reason for that is actually because what I've always been told in regards to this was actually that when you mark buildings like this, when your troops sit around the flare, they will rather than fan out like a lot, they will have something specific that they want to target. So they sit just a little bit tighter than they normally would as a result, which is why he marked both, just because he wanted them to stay a little tighter up the top there, which I don't think really played that much of a role. But anyway, that's the differences between the opener of the previous video and this one, and only being shown because how different the opening part of this attack would have been to the last one. So I will 4 times this just because this is pretty standard. He's just going to let his troops take out as many cells as he can, and when his Zookas get too close to this flamethrower, he will be flaring into the corner, just so he doesn't lose any to them, and he can take out the rest of the cells naturally. When that happens, he's going to be flaring in the very bottom corner here. I will untimes this from 4 because it lags my phone a lot when I'm trying to move around, and that doesn't look good for the video purposes. As his Zookas group up in the corner, he will be flaring down here. The specific placement of this flare isn't hugely important, but it could have been a little closer to this line that it was next to the right of where it was, just so it was more in line with the center of this boom cannon. Because if you look at his next flare location, it's to the right of this boom cannon, just slightly above it, in line with the barbed wire. So had he flared a little bit more and let them sort of get to that a little bit more, because these rockets were out of range, there was nothing in that was a danger, they would have held a tighter path down the base, and he could have spaced his smokes out just a little bit more than what he wound up doing, which isn't really a huge problem, but it's something that I definitely would have done. It would have made things a little bit easier for him. I do believe he doesn't lose the delay here at all, which is absolutely vital for what he's going to be doing in a second. So spacing these smokes closer together, just because he knows it's not going to be a tight path. He critters early on this one, because there is a doom cannon here and up here, which is going to be a gigantic pain if you don't critter them. So this one being under smoke means he can critter that pretty early, because there is a lot that he needs to do at this point. So as this flare, because I didn't really get time to show you guys the exact placement, there is a line on the floor just there. You'll want to place your flare location on that line, just in case for whatever reason in the future there's a glitch where that's not completely visible. It is the very top tile in between this mortar and sniper tower, so it is the top tile of that building that we are lining it up with. Anyway, I will let them go under the smoke. As all the Zookas get to that flare location, we are going to be tapping on the HQ for the flare. So 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, I think I missed the press. So we will look at the gunboat. Yeah, so I did miss the press. But at exactly 9 o'clock, so you can see it's slightly above it now. But at exactly 9 o'clock, he places the critters for this one here. His shocks go in order of this flamethrower, this one here, which is this mortar here with the shock launchers and stuff just under where he's located. Then this one, he uses the building delay to delay the next shocks, and then he will shock this stuff, and this stuff, and this stuff here, I believe. I don't really remember whether he includes this in his first initial lot or his second lot. But he's going to start shocking at around 10 o'clock, I believe. So I will have to look at this one first. Yep, so he just pressed on that, which you can see the timing on the clock about here. So it was roughly 10 o'clock when he started doing that. And you'll see this next press there, and you've seen this one on the rockets that just happened now. I do believe he might do the mortars now. No, he doesn't. So you can see the smoke is just about to end. And so that shock just landed. So it was like literally as the smoke was dissipating that he pressed on those. And that shock hasn't even landed. Bam. So pretty crazy stuff here. You can see how late that one was. That was just a little bit late. It did manage to get off some troops. You can see that rocket launcher was firing. I don't recall him dropping a critter box on that corner. But I will double check just to make sure, because I did see that rocket launcher firing at something down there. So he must have dropped the critter box at down there as well. So I'm guessing if he did that, he would have dropped it around 9 o'clock. But I will double check just to be 100% certain. But an absolutely nutty attack. So that was the building health, 720%. Because I do believe I forgot to show that just a second ago. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that was the attack, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, smack the thumbs up button. Tell me what you thought in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.